What's up guys, it's Lionel the Builder back again with another video, and today before I go live I just wanted to hop up here real quick and shoot a quick video because I got awesome feedback from my lead developer in our past meeting, and I was talking to my friend about it when he asked me how are things going over at the startup, and I told him like, man, things are going great. I just got a battery placed in my back from my lead developer when he told me that he asked me what has changed since when I started from now. So I figured I would bottle up what I have done and present it in my top 5 tips for junior developers. Actually, it's going to be 6 tips for junior developers in 2024. Whether you're employed already or if you're still looking for a job, these are things that should still apply to you, right? Okay, so the first one would be to always embrace continuous learning. Now, how you go about learning, there's so many different ways that you can do that, some of which are more impactful than others, but as long as you keep the mentality that you are a lifelong learner as a software engineer, as a web developer, you are always continually, every single day, every time you sit down, be prepared to learn something new. We should be a sponge, okay, in this, because I mean, obviously, right, you're starting off, you don't know it all. You might have completed your course, you might have built maybe a project or two, but in every single thing that you do, you're always going to be learning. And funny thing is, my biggest teacher right now is ChatGPT. Even when I'm going for the easy way out and I'm trying to have ChatGPT do my job for me, I'm still reading what it's saying, right? And I'm still learning in that process, even when it messes up, when it sends me in the wrong direction, when it spins me around in circles and sends me down other rabbit holes, having to read through that. And of course, when you do that, something that should have taken you 10 minutes can take you a whole hour. But still, through it all, I don't mind, and I don't beat myself too much about that, because I feel like I'm always learning. I'm always leveling up, no matter what's happening, through the good and the bad. You know what I'm saying? Let me turn this down a little bit. Number 2 is to understand the fundamentals. This is something that is probably my weakest point. I was talking to another friend about this. He asked me if I ever did that Harvard CS50 course. And I started it, like most people started it, but I never finished it. And when I think about it, the things that they were talking about inside that course that was boring to me at the time were the fundamentals that would have made my job 10 times easier right now, and would save my ass and save me out of a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of asking for help, a lot of being stuck, if I would have just understood the proper way to go about and do things, and how with your application everything is connected to each other, and what's the proper way to do things, whether it's writing middleware or trying to use something when you don't have the dependencies installed. Like, there's so many different problems out there that you can run into as a junior developer, that you really need to seek out the fundamentals. Like, it's building a house. You got to start from the foundation, right? When it comes to web development in general, a lot of us try to jump straight into React, for example. You know, of course you learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, then you try to start using React, right? But it's just a framework. It's so on top of everything else that I guess a way to draw an analogy to that would be like trying to use calculus, but you don't really understand addition and multiplication and subtraction in the proper way. You're just trying to use trigonometry, but you don't even understand like what is this thing, and how does it work, and how do computers think in the first place. So that's something that's my goal this year, to double back in. I was gonna talk to Team Treehouse. They've commented on my video before. That's my favorite learning platform. I was wondering, would they mind me making content while I'm going back through some of these fundamental courses that they have up there, or maybe Udemy or something like that. I don't know if that would be copywritten, or if they would look at that as promotion, or if they would look at that as like, you know, giving their shit away for free. I don't know. It's something that I was thinking about. The next thing is to master version control. When you're using Git and it's only you because you built your portfolio projects, you've built things on your own. You're just pushing to the main, right? To the main branch, and then setting up your continuous development possibly. When I got hired by my startup, I only knew maybe like 2 or 3 commands. Get status, get push, and then a lot of times I was using VS Code. I wasn't even using like just the terminal or GitHub.com or even Git desktop. When I got hired and you're working on a project amongst your entire team, there is so many different things that you need to do with what part of the project you're working on. You need to create a separate branch, and then you need to make a pull request for whatever you are adding to the project. So if any of this sounds unfamiliar to you, I would say do a full-on Git course. That's another video that I have written down, a video idea that I have written down for me to go through and to talk about the differences between GitHub when it's just you and then GitHub as soon as you join the team. Boy, was I in for a rude awakening when I got to that point. So that's another tip. Before you get hired, or shortly after, before your first day, go in there and master version control. Understand as much as you can about the multiverse that is Git. It goes a lot deeper than I thought. Number 4 would be, of course, to build a portfolio. And I'm not going to speak on too much more of that because it's extremely obvious, you need, that's in your business card, if you will. But I will say a couple quick tips on that is to try and not make it too generic. Don't have it look like you're a junior. Don't say junior developer. Don't say aspiring developer. Try to mask a bit if you can that you are new. And this is not to finesse or anything like that, but to put your best foot forward. Right? When you build these things, make sure that you're building things that are interesting to you. Make sure that you're showing off your full range of skills. Don't, unless you're only going to be a end developer or a designer, I guess maybe then focus on the design. Whatever you want to do, make sure that you have projects that show off that you can do that and give you that social proof that you have done this for a company and that somebody has hired you to do this. You know what I mean? Number 5 will be learn to read code. A big part about learning is just reading code. When you go to work on an open source project or just looking around GitHub, take that code if you don't understand it, paste it into ChatGPT and say, please break this entire project down, this entire page down as if you're speaking to a new developer, right? With analogies. And ChatGPT does a great job of explaining line by line exactly what every line is doing, and then you can go ahead and practice that on your own. This is connected to continuous learning, of course, but that's where I learned the most, honestly. The courses and stuff like that is very much like, almost like you're watching TV, like you're watching a Netflix show or something like that. And if we're watching, I don't know, Silicon Valley, or if we're watching, what's that Facebook movie? What's that Facebook movie? I don't know. If you're watching, you know what I'm talking about. When you're watching something, you don't really learn that much. It's very much passive. Even if you have to do a test at the end, still, while you were just watching that, you were really just chilling. So it's not until your gears really get turning when you get your hands busy. You cannot explain the actual, or you cannot feel the real thing of like eating a pear, for example. You could read all the books that you want about what it is like to eat a pear. You could watch people eat a pear, but you won't really understand what it's really like until you actually do it yourself. So you have to learn how to read the code, learn how to write the code. In your free time, practice freestyle writing code on your own. These are the things that are gonna make you better. And then number 6 is when you are working on a team. This is the thing that I did not really understand, right? And my lead developer put it to me perfectly with an analogy. when I was stuck on a certain thing, right, that out of me feeling like this is something that I should know before I was even hired, I didn't really want to ask for help, right? And so I'll spend the whole day trying to figure something out. But the thing is, you need to ask for help. That is why you are the junior and they are the leads, because they have already done what you're trying to do. Or maybe they were smart enough to reach out for help as soon as they were stuck. As soon as you get stuck, my rule now that I never keep still is that whenever I'm stuck longer than an hour on one thing, to set it aside and ask for help and move on to the next task if I can. And I did that, and that was the thing that got me hyped up to even make this video, is because of the feedback that I got before my meeting, right? He told me, like, that was a great strategy that you did to stay productive. I can tell that you did all that you could to figure out this issue, and then setting it aside, bringing it up to us, but setting it aside and continue to work on something else that was important that we wanted to have done, was a brilliant move. And then we went, and then together we figured it out. We worked through it, and I learned there, you know what I mean, what was actually wrong and how to fix it. So I would say ask for help when you're stuck. Do not be scared of looking like the dumbass who needed help. Just go ahead and ask. Put your pride aside. Everybody, the goal is to move forward. The goal is to get things done, to make the software, the product, whatever you're building, whatever you're working on. The goal is to move forward. The goal is not for you to have to John Wick this shit out and defeat everything on your own. That's not the goal, especially if it's taking longer than it would be for you to just reach out to somebody, and in 30 minutes you could clear the debris, and then they'll have you moving forward until you get trapped again. You know what I mean? You have a certain skill set. Whenever you get to your maximum, because these are tools that you don't have yet inside your toolbox. So you need to go ahead and reach out to the people who do have it, that you do know, whether that is like mentors, people who you've met with your networking. This is another way to build relationships with other developers that you may know, maybe on LinkedIn or on Discord. If you're not hired with the company yet and you don't have a direct line of communication with the pros, then but the thing that I wanted to say, this is the real motivation of this video, is do not, that's imposter syndrome, isn't it? Everybody's worst enemy. It's gotta be, because what else would make you want to not ask for help and you just sit there and fucking keep banging your head against the wall? And one thing that he said that really like snapped me out of it, he said, this is a labyrinth that you're in, and you are the architect of the maze. You're the architect of the maze. You're building the maze out, you know, and like the way out could be right there, but you're going through the weeds and you're making it even worse this whole time, trying to dig and follow error codes and ask ChatGPT and ask Stack Overflow and try all of these different things, right? If you could just zoom out, take a step back and ask for help, do the thing that, what is that? What makes us not want to do that, man? I don't know what it is. I'm still working on it myself, but I'm getting better at it, and that's what I did. And this YouTube channel is really about capturing the journey, sharing it with others, hopefully so that I can save somebody else from the pain of going through this type of shit, and helping you guys move forward. That was the whole reason. Like I always say, I know that I have made it to a certain point where there are people behind me in the path. And I look at us all as one long line of developers or engineers on this one path. Or shit, of course it's like 10 different paths, right? But we're all at a certain stage. There's people in front of us, there's people behind us. So, and I come from 100 Devs, where we help each other out. And so that's what I'm gonna continue to do as long as I'm in this situation that I'm in right now. And hopefully this advice here can help some of you guys out there. gonna wrap it up, and I'm about to go live for Code and Chill. So I'll see you guys up there. I'm Lionel the Builder. Please check out the links in the description. Join the school, join the Discord, holla at me, like, share, subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.